discussed my business or their business, my sons or daughters.
I've never spoken to my son about his overseas business dealings.
I have never discussed with my son or my brother or anyone else anything having to do with their businesses, period.
Turns out that was just more lies. Newly uncovered photos obtained by America First Legal appear to show then Vice President Joe Biden meeting with Hunter's Chinese business associates during a 2013 official visit. And take a look at who's in these other dad and son photos from that same trip. Chinese President Xi Jinping. We're only getting these images now because America First Legal sued the National Archives and Records Administration to get them. And the release was reportedly delayed until, conveniently after the election. Joining me now is Florida Congressman Byron Donalds, who's also on the Oversight Committee. Congressman, thanks for joining us tonight. Why do we get these photos so late, and what did they tell you?
We got the photos late because it took America First Legal suing the National Archives. You remember them, the same National Archives that said for a couple years that Donald Trump was holding back classified information. They had to sue that National Archives just to get access to these photos. And the people who were blocking these photos, none other than President Joe Biden and President Barack Obama. And so in that lawsuit, they basically said, we'll finally release those to you after the election. Surprise, surprise. Look, at the end of the day, Joe Biden was corrupt. His family is corrupt. They took millions and millions from overseas, including Chinese corporations, which we all know are backed by the Chinese Communist Party. The reason why? They were trying to make their own money using Joe Biden's position in politics because the Biden family never had a business. They were trying to live off the largesse of his access, which was pay to play. But the American people have seen through it. He's been defeated. He's leaving soon. But this goes to show how corrupt the swamp really is.
When Joe Biden pardoned his son, he said, and I quote, "For my entire career, I have followed a simple principle. Just tell the American people the truth. I hope Americans will understand why a father and a president would come to this decision." Congressman, that's pretty rich about being truthful. Do you expect more Biden family members to be pardoned before he leaves office on January 20th?
It's very possible, but let's be clear. The reason why he pardons Hunter Biden is because Hunter was the bag man. He was the one making all the travel, moving the money around, working with the business partners. He had daddy on the phone at a moment's notice anytime he needed somebody to make sure that Hunter had access to the big guy, which is Joe Biden. So, of course, going out the door, this is what Joe Biden has to do, not just to protect himself, but to protect his family, because this family has been built on the corruption of Joe Biden's position. That's the bottom line. Does the brother, Jim Biden, does he get a pardon? It's possible. The Oversight Committee, we already uncovered that it was Jim Biden's wife that wrote a check to Joe Biden for $40,000. And that $40,000, if you follow the money, it comes from one of the business interests that Hunter Biden had because of his connection, obviously, to his father, who was at the top of our politics for a very long time.
Yeah, I still want to understand why Joe Biden's grandkids got over $100,000 put into their account. But, that's another story. I still think I can hear the critics now. Oh, Joe Biden, he's a nice guy. It's time to move on. We've already flushed this out. All these excuses to move on. But I hope you and the Oversight Committee unveil the truth to its fullest. We have to get there to its fullest. And I hope that's the commitment that you and the committee make.
No, I totally agree. And let's be honest about this piece as well. This was covered up by the mainstream media, obviously, by the Democrat Party, and by a lot of people who knew what was going on in the intelligence community, all to protect Joe Biden. And what has come out, the truth that has now been revealed to the American people, for as much as they wanted to talk about Donald Trump the last 8 years, it was actually Joe Biden and others, I might add, who have been destructive of America's democracy. Thank God for the American people making the right decision on November 5th.
Congressman, thanks for joining us tonight.